Welcome to episode 30 of the Thoughtfully Made Fiber Vlogcast. My name is Amy and I am your host. It is spring and outside everything is blooming and growing wonderfully. Everything I seeded before, basically before the last big frost that we had, is coming up and growing wonderfully. You can kind of see them in the background there. Even though this is a fiber vlogcast, I often like to show you all the other things that I am doing. And today I am working on this bed here, putting down some organic fertilizer that I forgot to put down. You're supposed to work this in a few weeks before you plant, but I forgot. So here I am doing it now and giving it a good rake to mix it into the top layer, which is mostly compost. There's like a good inch of compost on there that I laid down back in probably January and leftover straw mulch from last year. Started these seedlings inside I think the first week of March or so, and they grew very quickly. They needed to be potted up several times, but I learned the hard way last year that if you plant out bok choy too early in the year and they experience frost, because they are a biennial plant, they think they've gone through winter, they think it's the second spring that they've been through now, and now it's time for the flower. And I prefer my bok choy not to flower, so here we are doing a planting that hopefully isn't too high risk. Seedlings are looking really good, so I'm excited for this. I'm so happy that I bought this dipper this year to be used in planting small seedlings. My back isn't so good. I have a lot of chronic pain, so the dipper is helpful for me in that I don't have to be squatted the entire time to dig holes to plant in. I'm making them equidistant, about 6 inches apart, with kind of like a zigzag pattern across 2 rows. I plant my bok choy pretty densely. I don't know if that's correct, but that's the space I expect them to take up, so hopefully that's enough. Most of my hobbies have always been pretty sedentary, and as I get older, I find that I need to have a lot more outdoor time when I'm active. I do take a dance class, but it's only once a week, and I'm really enjoying gardening. I've always enjoyed gardening, but this is my second year gardening in the ground or in raised beds. I've always only been a container gardener because I've always rented in the past. So this being my second year, everything's still very much a learning process. And if you've been here for a while, you know that I love to learn new things. That's what makes my heart sing. And the nice thing about gardening is that even after many years of doing it in container and now in the ground, there's always still so much more to learn. And every year I learn something new. Meanwhile, inside, I am preparing to wash, mend, depill, and store all of my hand knits. Even before I became a knitwear designer, I had, a good number of sweaters in rotation, cardigans, pullovers of all weights that I like to wear depending on the outfit or the weather. And I do wear them a good bit. The sweater I am washing today is my knitted Coloring Book Raglan. This one has been very, very well loved. Seriously dirty. And I have filled the basin here and worked some solid soap into a lather over it. And after I soaked the sweater, I realized how dirty it is, and I add more soap. I ended up doing this twice. I drained the water and filled it up again exactly the same way. And the second time looks much better, but it was quite grimy. As you all have seen this episode, I am not precious about where I wear my knits. All my knits are pretty much fair game. I'll wear them anywhere, anytime, even to do really dirty tasks like gardening and cleaning. Are you interested in a video about how my workflow looks like for this type of process? Because I'm currently working on a series of newsletter emails all about cleaning, and there'll be a little 10-day, I think, challenge where you can follow along my cleaning process and see how I do each step and get everything into storage. There's more steps than you think, so I look forward to sharing that with you. The next episode will probably be dedicated to that. Meanwhile, since I'm waiting for this to soak, I noticed my sink is filthy, so here's a little cleaning if you enjoy cleaning footage. By the way, I always have timestamps in the description box below, so if you'd like to jump ahead to different sections or jump around to the sections that are relevant to you or that you find interesting, you can always use those timestamps. As always, my vlog is fully captioned, and everything I talk about will be in the description box below. These Oolong socks have been done for quite a while now, but I wanted to share this footage again because it's time for the Oolong socks to be in the world. I am quite slow at developing patterns. They come to life and become published long after I finished any samples, and that's because I have a super long tech and test period to make sure that my tech editors and testers have all the time they need and that it's inclusive to the folks I work with or who volunteer to test, that anybody who has chronic pain or other disabilities such as myself have all the time they need. I myself am an extremely slow knitter, and I'm highly distractible because I'm neurodivergent, so it takes me a really long time to finish projects. And if that's you and you felt previously excluded from tests before, I encourage you to seek out designers who are more inclusive with their testing timelines. I wrote a whole blog about this before, about why I think long testing timelines as well as other things matter for inclusion, and I'll drop that link in the description box below as well. Of course, I am by no means saying that you have to test. Testing is volunteer work, it's free work, and you're doing designers a favor, and you shouldn't do it unless it truly brings you joy and brings you garments that you or someone you love will love and wear and actually use, rather than just have this thing that you knit that you won't use. I started out in the fiber world as a tester as well, and I love testing, but it's not for everybody. But if you previously wanted to test and you weren't able to because of the timeline, I hope that you'll check out my tests. The link to join my newsletter is in the description box as always. Shown here is the Oolong tank, which I think previously shown a little bit of. During tech and testing, a few errors were discovered. Like I said, I'm highly distractible, and when I knit my own patterns, I often make major errors, and then it requires some sweater surgery. In this case, I needed to reknit the hem and frog a few rows in the shoulders before the shoulder shaping, and I've done that and joined the shoulders back together, and now I'm like working real hard to try to get through the armbands and the I-cord neck so that I can finish around the same time as my testers, many of whom are faster and more focused knitters than I am. I will be back very soon with my video all about cleaning and working on my spring knits. If you have particular questions about spring cleaning and spring washing for knits, please put them in the comments below. And I'd love to know what you're knitting, what you're planting, if you're a vegetable gardener like me. And I can't wait to answer all your questions and talk to you very, very soon about the Oolong tank as well. If those things sound like they are up your alley, please take a look at my channel and subscribe. If you like the Oolong Socks, they are available on Ravelry and Payhip today. I put the links in the description. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you very soon.